The idea of the perfect Disney day is actually what's ruining your trip because the more you chase doing everything, the more it feels like you're always behind. And if you ever ended a day feeling exhausted, like you did a lot, but didn't really enjoy it, that's not bad luck. That's what happens when perfect becomes the goal. And this final video in our series, we're going to talk about what you do instead. I'm Lee with All About the Duck. And in this final episode of You're Doing Disney Wrong, and I want to start with something that took me a long time to figure out myself. Every strategy, every tip, every hack you've ever heard about Disney, including everything we've covered in this series, only works if you're willing to let go of one thing: the perfect day. Because somewhere along the way, the planning stops being about enjoying the trip and starts being about executing it. You spent the money, built the itinerary, made the reservations, and without realizing, the goal shifted from having a great time to don't waste a single minute. Here's the problem with that: chasing the perfect day creates pressure, constant, low level pressure that follows you through the entire park. You're watching the clock, checking the times, trying to stay on schedule. You're always thinking about the next move. Are we on track? Should we be somewhere else right now? Is this line worth it? And when something doesn't go right, a long line, a ride that goes down, a reservation you can't make, now you're just adjusting. You're trying to recover, reworking the whole plan, trying to catch back up to something that was never realistic to begin with. And that's when the day starts to feel like work, not a vacation. Work. The parks are too dynamic for a perfect plan. Too many people, too many variables, too many things you genuinely cannot control. So instead of feeling like you're having a great day, it starts to feel like you're falling behind, even when you've already done incredible things. That's the trap. You can have an amazing day at Disney, ride great rides, eat great food, watch great shows, and still walk out feeling like it wasn't enough because the bar was never something you could actually reach. So here's the shift that changed everything for us. Instead of trying to win the whole day, we focus on winning the moment. Whatever we're doing right now, that's the priority. Not the next ride, not the next return window, not whether we're on pace for the plan we made 3 weeks ago. If we're on a ride, we're on that ride. If we're eating, we slow down and actually taste the food. If we're walking through a land, we look around. We take it in. We notice the details Disney spent years building into every corner of that place. We're not thinking about the next three things on the list. We're in the one we're already in. And here's what's interesting: this isn't separate from everything we've talked about in this series. It's the thing that makes it all work. Rope drop works better when you're present in the morning instead of already anxious about the afternoon. The walk by rule works because you're actually looking at what's around you instead of staring at the app. Breaks work because you're listening to what your body and your group actually need instead of overriding it with a schedule. Every strategy in this series is really just a different version of the same idea. Stop fighting the day and start experiencing it. One of the hardest parts of Disney, and we felt it too, is letting go of what you didn't get to do. The ride you didn't make it to, the reservation that was gone by the time you looked, the line that was just too long and you had to walk away. But here's the reality: You're not going to do everything. Nobody does. The parks are designed with more to offer than just one person can experience in a single day or even a single trip. That's intentional. It's part of what keeps people coming back. Trying to do everything isn't a strategy. It's what makes the day feel rushed and incomplete because there's always something left on the list. Instead, pick a few things that genuinely matter to your group. The two or three experiences that, if you got them, would make the day feel like a win. And then just let the rest go, like Elsa's been trying to tell us all this time. Missing a ride doesn't ruin your day. Letting it bother you for the next 4 hours, that might. Some of the best moments we've had at Walt Disney World were never on any plan. It's the small stuff. A quiet walk through a land late at night when the crowds have thinned out and the music is playing and everything just feels right. A show you almost skipped because you were trying to get somewhere else. A snack you grabbed on a whim that ended up being the thing everyone talked about on the way home. One year we were walking through Hollywood Studios on our way to Star Tours. We had a plan. We knew exactly where we were going. And off to the side, there was something happening. An old Jedi training show out in the open, and they were pulling kids from the crowd to come up on stage. We almost kept walking. We had a schedule to keep, but we stopped and they pulled our kids up. And for the next 15 minutes, our kids were on stage at Walt Disney World in costume, facing down Darth Vader. That was it. That was the moment. Not the rides, not the plan, that. And they talked about it for the rest of the trip. And honestly, for years afterward. We would have walked right past it if we were locked into our schedule. Those moments can't be planned. They just happen, but only if you give yourself the space to notice them. And that space doesn't exist when every minute of your day is accounted for. So here's how to put it all into practice. And if you've been watching this series, this is where everything connects. Start with your 2 or 3 must-dos. The things that, if you did them, you'd walk out feeling like it was a great day. Those are your anchors from that anchor and wonder strategy we talked about in the overplanning episode. Hit your tier ones early using the ride strategy. Use the walk by rule to move through the park. Build in real breaks before the 2 p.m. crash hits. Use mobile order so dining doesn't interrupt your flow. And save your shopping till the end of the night. But underneath all that, don't try to control every minute. Leave space for your day because that's where the good stuff lives. The unexpected snack, the show you almost skipped, the moment walking through a land at night when it just all clicked. None of that happens in a packed minute by minute schedule. It happens in the gaps, in the moments when you're not chasing something else. That's the whole series right there. Strategy gives you a framework. Presence gives you the experience. You need both. At the end of the day, Disney isn't about how many rides you fit in. It never was. It's about how you felt. And when you look back on a trip, not that night, but moments later, years later maybe, what you remember isn't the wait times. It's not whether you hit every ride on the list. It's not whether the plan held together. It's laughing on a ride with someone you love. It's the look on a kid's face when they see the castle for the first time. It's sitting down somewhere realizing you're not tired. You're just happy. It's walking out of the park at the end of the night, music playing, lights on, and feeling like you didn't want it to end. Those are the moments that stick with you. And they don't happen because you had a perfect plan. They happen because you were actually there for them. Once you let go of perfect, the whole experience gets better because you stop chasing the day and you finally start living it. There is no such thing as a perfect Disney day, but there is a better way to experience. And it starts by giving yourself permission to not do everything, to pick what matters, stay present, and let the rest be a bonus. Keep it simple. Stay in the moment and enjoy what's right in front of you. Because the best Disney day you'll ever have isn't the one where everything went perfectly. It's the one where you were actually there for it. If you've been through this entire series, thank you, genuinely. You're doing Disney wrong and it's not your fault has been 10 episodes of real strategy, real stories, and real talk about what actually works at Walt Disney World for 2026. From rope drop to ride orders to this, it all comes back to the same thing. Stop chasing perfect. Start being present and plan smart enough that you could actually enjoy what you plan. If there are episodes you miss, go back and watch them. Everyone builds on the last, and together they'll completely change how you approach your next trip. Link is in the description. And if this series helped, if it changed how you think, how you plan, how you show up at Disney, make sure to like and subscribe and share it with someone who's got a trip coming up. They need this. We've got a lot more coming for you on this channel, so stick around. And as always, see you real soon.